We have some breaking news we want to get to out of Washington, D.C. A Secret Service spokesman tells MS Now that 2 National Guard members were involved in a shooting near the White House this afternoon. At least one of them was struck, and the White House is currently on lockdown. Joining us, MS Now Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Delaney, and along with MS Now National Security and Intelligence analyst and former FBI supervisor Rob D'Amico.
We need to figure out ways to have people really evaluate themselves, to really have an understanding of what life and death means. Even if it's a stranger down the street or somebody across the world, you should be feeling some type of emotion of, oh my gosh, like these people lost so many lives and we feel for them. You know, if there's anything we can do, you know, donating money or food or clothing or anything that could help these people around the world.
So, Ken, what exactly do we know?
Basically just what you said, Katie. This shooting, I'm told, occurred near the White House in a place called Farragut Square in downtown D.C. We're seeing video on social media of police rushing to the scene. I checked in with the Secret Service because they protect the White House and was told that 2 uniformed National Guard members were involved in a shooting. At least one of them was struck. Their condition is not known. The nature of the incident was not known by this person. It's being handled by the D.C. police, not the Secret Service, because they've decided there's no nexus to the White House, no threat to the White House. So the circumstances of this incident are unclear. Remember, of course, that uniformed National Guard are regularly patrolling the streets of Washington, having been deployed there by President Trump. That's subject to a legal fight. Actually, 5 days ago, a judge ordered the Trump administration to halt that deployment. That's still being litigated. But again, so all we know is that 2 uniformed National Guard members involved in a shooting. One was struck. The condition of that person is unknown at this time.
Yeah, so the AP is reporting that 2 National Guard members were struck, the 2 that were involved. Again, that differs a little bit from our reporting. We'll see if that gets updated. Ken, you were saying that your sources have said there's no nexus. The FBI is saying no nexus. What does that mean?
The Secret Service, meaning there's no there's no angle for them to investigate this. They've already concluded there was no threat to the White House or the president. It's a shooting that occurred in D.C., and so it's being investigated and responded to by the D.C. police, not by the Secret Service. It remains to be seen. I've also checked in with the FBI. It's unclear at this point whether they will get involved. But right now, the D.C. police is responding, Katie.
All right. So the president is not in Washington right now. He's not at the White House, even though the White House is on lockdown. He, is in Florida for the holiday break. J.D. Vance is, in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. In terms of how hard it is to investigate situations like this, Ken, who ends up taking the lead when you have a shooting? And Capitol Police might normally deal with this sort of thing, but you have a shooting so close to a place like the White House.
Well, the agencies work together so much anyhow. So if there was, like, as Ken said, if there was any nexus to someone had been trying to get in the White House, or if it was a federal building, they'll decide that. All the other crimes, DCs are originally going to, start investigating it. And then if it turns out a nexus to some type of federal thing where the FBI may have lead, or Secret Service, but they do that all the time because those properties are on top of each other. They literally sit there, and there's so many federal agencies. But when the crimes happen, and the fact that it's National Guard, they're going to have to start looking into what are the rules of engagement. Did the National Guard members see a violent crime happen, and then they try to interdict with it, and then that's what led to the shooting or something. So the DC police will do that. The National Guard will be involved, obviously, because it's their personnel. And then the other federal agents will sit there and wait to see if there's something that brings it into their chain of investigations, if it was on a property, or if somehow it turns out that it was someone doing something against something protected by the Secret Service. So they do that all the time because they just lay on top of each other as it is.
All right, the White House.
I don't know, for some reason, the lady that's talking, this one right here in the middle, she looks like she's been smiling and smirking, and I mean, I don't know. She should be having a straight face with this type of situation going on, in my opinion. I don't know. I think she was talking about something in the very beginning that was laughing with this dude. I'm not sure what they were talking about, but the change of situation when she brought up the breaking news of, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about that. But what is crazy that the rules of engagement for the National Guard, in my opinion, in the United States, if you shoot at our military, their rule of engagement should be to terminate the threat. So, taking the threat out to save themselves and bystanders, innocent civilians, property, anything, they should be defending themselves. This should be the same as if they're deployed to foreign countries. Same thing should be the rule of engagement here on soil, on American soil. I don't know what's going on with the suspect. I saw somewhere where they caught the suspect, but we'll find out who that individual is, if it was multiple people, what's going on. I mean, day before Thanksgiving, these people want to cause some type of chaos in the country, some type of threat. Let's find out what's going to be happening with this. I also know that I guess, I don't know if this happened yesterday or this morning, but Hong Kong apparently had some building that caught on fire that was also surrounding other buildings that ended up spreading to those buildings, and many people have died, unfortunately. Let's find out more information, because I didn't get to hear too much about it.
Oh my God.
Over a dozen people are dead and an unknown number are still trapped after a massive fire engulfed multiple residential high-rise towers in Hong Kong on Wednesday, the government said.
Okay, I thought these were businesses.
Fire crews were called to the Wong Fuk Court housing complex, home to 2,000 apartments in the northern Tai Po district, just before 3 p.m. Strong winds caused flames to spread to 7 of the complex's 8 blocks, some of which were clad in bamboo scaffolding. The Hong Kong Fire Services Department told Reuters it does not know the number of people who may still be inside the buildings.
Besides, the temperature inside the buildings concerned are very high. So it's quite difficult for us to enter the building and go upstairs to conduct firefighting and rescue operation.
This man told Reuters his wife was still inside the building as he watched smoke billow into the sky. Other residents stood on the street as their homes burned.
Of course I'm not feeling good, seeing so many blocks on fire, some of them burning all the way inside people's homes. How could anyone feel okay? Even though our block's fire seems like it's being put out, seeing the fires all around still makes you feel terrible.
Hong Kong is one of the last places in the world where bamboo is still widely used for scaffolding and construction. The government moved to start phasing out the city's use of it in March, citing safety. It announced that 50% of public construction works would be required to use metal frames instead.
Now, a couple of takeaways from situations like these with the National Guardsmen, with what's happening in Hong Kong, with the buildings catching fire, a lot of civilians dying, people in general just dying. What people should take away from this is, this type of stuff happens every day in so many different places around the world. And regardless of how you feel about people or, their ideologies or their beliefs or their way of thinking on any type of subject that you may disagree with, it shouldn't matter when it comes to life and death. And, we really had a huge exposure of the crazy, mentally ill people around the world who have praised, people's deaths, such as the Charlie Kirk assassination that really exposed so many of those people. All those people need to be in mental asylums and be kept there until they're ready to get back into society. If not, we need to exterminate these people. I mean, I know that's very harsh and very radical to say, but is it really? Why are we allowing people to roam streets that are okay with innocent human life being taken from us whether it's from evil people assassinating people, or if it's Mother Nature, taking out buildings, if it's fire, even if the fire was caused by people, or if it was a spark of some sort. We don't know, but human life is precious. And if there's people that are okay with human life being taken from this earth, we need to get rid of these people, because these are people that are endangering innocent human life. I know it may sound crazy to say, but there has to be a solution to where, people that are praising, human life from getting taken, regardless what it is, praising that, the consequence for that should be, either putting them in mental asylums to get evaluated, to get back into society, or getting rid of these people entirely. Because these are not the people that are for peace, for bringing people together. This is what we should be promoting across the world, is peace. But if there's people out there that do not want, they want to see the world burn. They want to see human life burn. And it's crazy. We don't need these type of people. These are the people that are tearing good people down. Making good people in this world say, I'm getting sick. Peace doesn't work. Then they have to change their mentality and change their ways and resort to being an evil person. And that's not what we want. In America, in the world, people in this world need to look in the mirror. If you don't have a mirror, go find a mirror. Go look at some glass. See a reflection of yourself. And look at yourself and ask yourself, look into the glass and see yourself and say, am I okay with killing that person? That's the question people should ask. We need to figure out ways to have people really evaluate themselves, to really have an understanding of what life and death means. Even if it's a stranger down the street or somebody across the world, you should be feeling some type of emotion of, oh my gosh, like these people lost so many lives and we feel for them. If there's anything we can do, donating money or food or clothing or anything that could help these people around the world, rather than having the type of people that are going to be laughing and smirking like the news reporter. I mean, things like that really bug me. Like, why do we have these type of people, in the public eye? Like, this is not what we need. This is not how we bring people together. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, everybody. This one's for Charlie.